Well, hello friends, it's Christel Joy Johnson of CJoy Yoga, and I am here today to do, I'm going to do two little videos. The first one is going to be a little talk, the one I'm doing right now. I don't know, some things to think about, I guess. I'll call it food for thought. And then the second one is going to be us exploring some of the things I'm going to talk about in our practice, in our bodies. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the root chakra, right? And I'm not going to come and give a dissertation. The root chakra is the color red, it is the earth. Yes, it is these things, and that is beautiful and that is wonderful. But there are many of my friends who are like, I don't know about the chakras, I don't need to. But what if I talk to you about it in this way? Right now, we have a coronavirus pandemic that's happening. And a lot of us are really getting rattled in our sense of security and safety, right? And we're not really trusting the world right now. We're not trusting being around other people right now. We're not trusting that we have our financial security taken care of. We're not trusting putting things online and teaching people in a new way. We're not, right? We have all of these different things that are happening, these huge changes for a lot of us in our lives that are really rattling our foundation, right? So I'm going to talk about this as being our foundation. So when you look at your foundation, just like a house, you would put a foundation down. You got to make sure that foundation is really solid so that every brick that you put on top of that, or whatever material you're using in your thing. I like brick and wood. So every brick that you lay down, right, has a solid foundation so that structure can be really solid. But as a lot of us know, I'm going to go with the building metaphor a little longer. If we have a natural disaster or something come along, right, how are we able to move and flow with that? And even if maybe the structure gets moved, gets changed, gets broken, gets whatever, is that foundation still there? And is that foundation still solid, right? So that we can rebuild. So I'm going to start with an example first that I think is pretty telling of our times, right? I could just go straight to the coronavirus, but I'm gonna take it out just a little bit so it's not quite so close to home, right? So say a tsunami invades your life, comes into your village, and it takes down your home, all of your belongings, everything, right? Fire, people have had fire. Pico Iyer is a beautiful writer who talks about how he showed up at his house and everything he had in it had burned down, and he had nothing but the toothbrush that he bought at the market, right? So will you be able to, when that tsunami comes in and takes away your home, destroys your village, and what you initially think of as destroying your life, right? Will you be able to, despite the feeling that life can sweep everything away from you that you've built, will you be able to return and build everything anew? And this can be asked in relationships. Can we trust enough to build after a previous one unexpectedly ended? Can we trust our bodies when we have serious illnesses or injuries, things like that? Can we come back and we can trust our bodies again? And then putting that out to the coronavirus pandemic, can we trust that, even though the coronavirus might take our job or our retirement, or it might even be the life of a loved one, something along those lines, right? Can we still trust that we can come back and that we can rebuild? Do we have a foundation solid enough to be able to do that, even if the building itself gets swept away? And that's not easy. I'm not saying that's an easy thing to do, but I do think we get the opportunity with where we're at right now with this coronavirus to do that, to look at that. So again, we're getting kind of rattled with our feeling of safety and security, and I even feel it every once in a while when I go to the grocery store. I'm just like, I need more beans. No, I don't need more beans. I have plenty of beans and rice and stuff, right? The grocery stores are not closing down. I can still go. And so I have these conversations with myself, right? But the initial instinct is like, oh my God. And so we're out of toilet paper, and we're out of, we've got all these rubbing alcohol. We've got all these things that people are just like, oh my God, because they're not feeling safe or secure. So how can we do that for ourselves? How can we build more trust, safety, and security for ourselves? right? Because that's what the physical practice is going to be about. But, just a couple of things to think about. I write everything down because otherwise I get really tangential and I get sidetracked an awful lot. So, can feeling the ground, right? The ground is solid and it's trustworthy enough. At least at this point in time for us here, there's not a tsunami or an earthquake or any such thing right now. So the ground, feeling the ground underneath you and really making contact with that. Maybe closing the eyes so you take visual stimulation out every once in a while and just pausing and taking some deep breaths and really feeling whatever it is in your body that's touching the earth or the floor or whatever you have that you're working with, right? And really feeling that. Maybe every once in a while, lying down, I would suggest. Lying down, feel the density of your bones, right? And feel the heavy, heavy bones and feel those bones as they just melt down into the earth. Trying to relax your feet on the ground, trying to just remind yourself, right, that yes, things are changing, but they always are. I think there's the rub, as Shakespeare would say, right? There is no such thing as permanence. Everything is ever changing all the time. But right now, it's very, oh my gosh, is that true, right? Impermanence, ever changing. These things that we hear about, but we're like, yeah, but I have my spouse, I have my children, I have my house, I have this job, and this is exactly how it's gonna go. And then I'm gonna retire at this age, and then I'm gonna use my retirement fund. My retirement fund is gonna be at that point in time. And I'm always gonna have health insurance because I know this and this and this and this, and I know this and this and this and this and this, and right? The more you know, the more you cut yourself off from possibility, but also, the harder it is when change happens for you to let go and go with the flow of change. You cannot change what's happening right now, right? But you can change your reaction to the circumstance. You can stay in fear and you're going to suppress your immune system. You're probably going to get sick. I'm not saying coronavirus, but you're probably going to get ill, or your anxiety is going to act up, and then your GI tract's going to get all off. Your microbiota is going to be microbiome's going to get all goofed up, right? So we have these repercussions that happen to us when we cannot let go and when we cannot allow change. And I'm talking mainly on the physical level, but it goes a lot deeper than that. So we're getting this opportunity, and initially maybe we all were a little bit freaked out. We don't know, but now we're into it far enough that it's time for us to do our spiritual work, right? It's time for us to sit back, to sit still, to feel the earth underneath us, to not buy 20 loads of toilet paper and to whatever, and to know that we are going to be okay. We have everything we need. If there is anything else that we need, the universe will provide it for us. And that ultimately, at this point in time, we are safe. Right now, right? We are safe. And then also, if some of you are still like, I am not safe, I do not know I am safe, maybe you can work on that, building that trust that you are, or realizing that that's part of your path. Whatever your path might be, maybe, let's say I am not able to come back to teaching and I don't have enough students who come back to classes. And so then I get another job, and maybe that ends up being a job that's really well suited to me and ends up being great. Or maybe, whatever it ends up being, I don't know, I don't have a scenario for myself right now. But and for my friends who are responsible for other people in your business underneath you, that they feel like your family and you're letting them down, you're laying them off, and you're taking all of that on, that is not your journey, and you don't know. Maybe this is exactly how it was supposed to go down. Maybe that person's supposed to be laid off because then they end up moving to that place they've always wanted to go, and they end up having this other wonderful path that they're on, or whatever that might be. So just remembering that. And that might be your own story, or the story of someone that you're around that you're not responsible for. Finding your stability inside yourself so that you can flow with life's changes. Can you trust life at a deeper level? And we're being asked to really, are we being asked? A good question. I was going to say we're being asked to look at that, but I don't know know if we are. I think we can choose to ask that question. I think we can choose to do that spiritual work. I mean, I think that's always the way it is, right? We end up in these situations and you can choose to put on your blinders and stay in fear and scarcity, and you can keep living like that, and then you have no spiritual growth, even though you've had an opportunity for really great spiritual growth. So what do? Will you take the opportunity and will you continue to grow spiritually, right? Building trust. I'm going to read this one. This one's a good one. Building trust despite everything. Despite the coronavirus, the loss of a home, financial income, right, your retirement plan, despite the constant change of the nature of life, right? And our goal, maybe our goal can be to relax in our bodies and our home and our routines. But then the deeper work to that is, can you do this while you maintain this delicate thread of knowing that no routine, no home, and no body lasts forever? Right? Can we live with these deeper truths? And maybe you're shutting off the camera right now and you're just like, I can't even listen to what you're having to say. And I'd say you're not ready to live with that deeper truth. But some of my friends, I think that we can use this time to go a little deeper at a spiritual level and really look at what this opportunity provides for us in that way. So I hope you are all well. Safe, secure, and sound. You might close your eyes and you might even tell yourself that you are. And building trust with this new, ever-changing world that we are in, and knowing that you are going to be okay and that you are exactly where you are meant to be. I love you. Namaste.